What's up, everybody? Don't forget to subscribe to the World's TV YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of this great content moving forward. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video of World's TV. As I mentioned, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video out to everybody. So today, we're going to be talking about the Brittney Griner situation. So it just came out in the news that she'll be sentenced in Russia prison for up to 9 years and 6 months. It could possibly be 10 years, but she was found guilty in Russia court for having weed on her, which is like a weed pen. They found it while she was getting back on the airport on the plane. Apparently looked like she was coming back home to the United States, whether she was on a trip or vacation or whatever. She was coming back, went through airport security. They found that in her bag, and she's been detained ever since. And the news came out of the trial today that the judge sentenced her to 9 years in Russia prison. Now, here are my thoughts about this before I dive deep into this, because we got to dissect this whole thing as one. Excuse me. First of all, I think that Brittney Griner should be home. I think that her being sentenced to 9 years over a little dab of weed is ridiculous. It's stupid, and the U.S. should have enacted on this sooner, because it has been a long time she's been detained. So the fact that we are fighting about this recently, a couple months ago, is beyond me. So I think that her sentence is ridiculous, and I'm all for the Team BG bandwagon. Like, yo, bring her home. She needs to be with her family, needs to be with her fiance or her wife. So I'm all for it, and I'm agree with that, and I'm supporting on that train. But taking things into context, we gotta be real here. Russia is the most strictest country in the world when it comes to drugs. That is for a fact. They are super hardcore and strict on about every single thing. America, as ridiculous rules as it has towards cannabis, Russia is 20 times worse. And again, if USA, they start to relax cannabis use because they want to make money off of it. That's why they are legalizing it more often, because they see a profit for them in big businesses. But Russia is super strict when it comes to stuff like that. So that's number one. Number two, Russia's rule in terms of their use or having possessions of marijuana has been well known. Maybe Brittney Griner didn't know about that, so we gonna give her a pass, because I didn't know until like a year or two ago. Maybe she didn't know. But if you are traveling to a country, you would think that it would be your job, or somebody in your circle or a representative would tell you, hey, listen, you're going to Russia, just be careful what you have in your bag, what you have in your possessions, because they are very strict. They are an asshole. They are very anal when it comes to having drugs, especially marijuana, in your possession. So be careful what you do out there. And that's number one. And I'm not blaming that on her, but I believe that somebody in her inner circle, somebody who is aware of international rules, considering that she does play overseas in the WNBA all season, should have told her about this. But the fact that you go into another country and the rules are prevalent about marijuana, you defy the rules, you're sentenced to 9 years for that. Just needs to be lack more of awareness. And Brittney Griner is becoming a household name ever since she was sentenced about this weed charge in Russia. And everybody say, hey, we need to get her home, which again, I just said in the beginning of the video, I agree with. I think she needs to be home in the United States. The rule is stupid. But why is it such an outcry for her I'm pretty damn sure there's other people who went to Russia and got convicted of the exact same charge that Brittney is going through right now? Why is it such an outcry for her, but not an outcry for other people that have suffered the same type of fate? Because she is a known public figure. She is a celebrity. She's a famous person. You know that there's other people that are not known, that went to Russia, got detained, and got locked up in Russia prisons for having a weed pen on them. But it's not talked about because they're not known people. They're not famous public figures like she is. So there's been such an outcry to free Brittney Griner. Well, if you free Brittney Griner and you have all this movement, Brittney Griner, if there's such an outcry to free Brittney Griner, why is there not an outcry to free other people who have been convicted in Russia court for weed possessions? Why not? Because if you do it for her, you got to do it for everybody else. It's only fair. We are living in the times of equality, right? So we got to do it for everybody else. Why are we not doing that? Why not? It's the double standard. And people are saying, well, if it was LeBron James or another big time A-list celebrity like Taylor Swift, they would have been had them out. Okay, but guess what? We can apply that same logic. Brittney Griner is a WNBA basketball star. Her name is in the headlines because people want her freed, rightfully so. But what about the unknown people who went to Russia, got convicted for the same charge, and are still serving sentences there? Where's the outcry for them? You don't know. You don't know because they're unknown people. It is not being broadcast on the news. So that's my first issue with this, is the double standards, the hypocrisy. If you do it for her, you gotta do it for every other citizen that has been convicted for weed possession in Russia. Because we can't use the excuse, well, maybe she didn't know and blah blah blah. Okay, there's a lot of people that didn't know, but guess what? Rules are rules in the country. Whether as ridiculous and stupid as they sound, we have no choice but to follow them. And again, I'm not blaming her to a certain degree. It is her fault, but I'm not blaming her for it because maybe she just did not know. And maybe somebody did not warn her. But if we're doing such an outcry for her, why are we not doing it for other people who have been convicted for the same exact charge? Why not? Why? And number two, we have to be real. Look at the two people in office who have been claiming, yeah, we're trying to do everything working with the Russia country to get her freed. Okay, let's look at VP Kamala Harris, her background. Vice President of the United States. Do you know that she was against cannabis? Did you know about the great trial that happened back in San Francisco? That a lot of people did not know that she was part of 1,900 marijuana use trials. She was partly responsible for sending over 1,900 people to jail just for smoking marijuana. Not selling it, for smoking it. So you have a vice president who did that in her past. And now she's on the front foot of saying, we need to free Brittney because this is wrong. But what about what you did a couple years ago was wrong? That's not wrong. We all of a sudden forgetting that? Do you see the problem with that? Do you see the total hypocrisy with that? And don't get me started on sleepy Joe Biden. I'm not a fan of his either. He wasn't a big fan of cannabis until this year when all the states started legalizing it, mainly because they saw profits in it. So you have the two people who have the most power in the United States, the President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Both were at first against weed usage, not selling it, against people smoking weed in the USA, but now they are the forefront of the weed movement in 2022 because of Brittney Griner's situation. How ironic and hypocritical is that? That makes no sense. So number one, you can already tell those two people are not really doing as much as they say they do, because guess what? They would have been freed her. They would have been freed her out of Russia's hands. USA has some type of clout, okay? They would have been got the job done. But all of those are just lip services. The two people who were first against weed and all of a sudden they for it, they would have been got her out. I don't want to hear Joe Biden or Kamala tweet and say, yeah, we're working with this and that. No. Work more, talk less. You want to get her out? You serious about getting her out? You want her to be back with her fiance? Get the job done, period. And if you do it for her, you got to do it for everybody else. Everybody else who went to who went to Russia, whether they knew the rule or not, is serving time in their jail cell because of a weed charge. So if you do it for her, do it for everybody else. Since we're preaching in the age of equality, everybody got to get the same treatment no matter what your social status is. But you have these two clowns, the two hypocrites, who are not fans of weed in the beginning, are now at the forefront of saying we need to free her. How ironic is that? You see how it all comes to a full circle? Just interesting. But again, as I mentioned before, I really do want her to be freed. I think that rule is stupid in Russia. It is ridiculous. I've seen people in the United States get convicted for more years with less weed on them. So the fact that USA is all of a sudden, yeah, we're behind, cannabis use. A couple years ago, that wasn't the case. People serving, I know people serving 10, 15, 20 years for simply having a little pack of weed on them. Now all of a sudden they want to say, yeah, well, people, we're for it. We're pushing behind it. That energy wasn't like that a couple years ago. So what changed? The money changed. But if they wanted her home, they would have gotten her home a long time ago. It's a whole bunch of lip service. Anybody who's watching this, man, anybody who got contact to Brittney, hopefully continue to send her positive message, keep her spirits up. I really do hope that she gets home, because I can imagine you are far away from your loved one in a jail cell with people that you don't know, especially you're a public figure in the United States. It probably has to be such a gut-wrenching, difficult feeling. And like I said, I really do hope that she gets home very, very soon. So my thoughts are with her and her wife and her family. But man, come on, we gotta get this done, USA. Y'all would have been gotten it done. Get it done. Enough talking, more action. Let me know what you guys thought about what I said in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video, subscribe down below. I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe. Peace.